Hello, fellow traders. This is TheRumpledOne coming to you on Friday, August the 23rd, the year's 2024. Let's talk trading. Weekly wrap-up. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. And just a reminder as we close out this week, risk management. Never lose more than you're willing to lose on any one single trade. So weekly, as you can see, we've got a big green bar here on the pound dollar, and the dashboard tells us that all the weekly open gaps have filled and the pound had gapped down. But if you look at it now, it's making new highs, it looks like. And we are 208 pips, 209, 210 pips off the bottom, and only 3 pips off of that weekly high. You can see we shot out across the previous week's high, and we've also shot out of broke the level of the high from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks ago. Something to be noted. Looking at the monthly, it appears as though we are making new yearly highs as a monthly high. We shot out of the upper wick zone of the previous month. And you can see here we broke out of the opening range for the week on Tuesday, and we haven't moved back since. And as you can see, we're making new highs. In fact, we just went through the launch pad. There we go, a 40 to 60 move. The now 70 right before your eyes. Just hit 80. Would you look at it go? You can see here, we are definitely making new yearly highs. We are extending the range for the year. You can see here that inside bar from 7 days ago. We are just moving up. And notice we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days in a row making new daily highs. These are things that a lot of times you don't think about looking at that, especially on a daily chart. But look at this. Also 7 days of higher lows. And that tells certain traders something. They call it trending. But you guys know how I feel about trends. And if you don't, I don't believe in trends, simply because when you change time frame, the trend changes. So I call it a bias rather than a trend. In other words, price is biased to the upside. Now you might say, well, you're just, playing with words, but the thing is, words have meanings, and based on meanings, they can cause you to make certain decisions a certain way. So if you think that it's marking's trending, then you're only going to look for things going one direction. You say, well, things are biased that direction, so I might want to be careful if I trade the other direction. For the day, we can see we've got 5 pairs over 100 pips. Right now, pound's clocking in at 96. The question is, will it go to 132? I don't know. So we've definitely had a huge move to the upside. Huge, huge move to the upside. And looking here at the rat zone, red rats, you might want to get ready to feast. Looking at what's happening here, we are at R3. And so Bambino Flex indicator said go short. It looks like we opened below the pivot. I can't really tell. Looks like we just crossed that pivot. Pivot trading plan was short at the pivot, short at R1, so it's definitely supposed to be short at R3. And had you taken that short, you'd be up about 9, maybe, 9 pips. And for the pivot, we've taken out the monthly. We have not taken out the weekly. That's 2 missed pivots in a row. And out of the last 1,000, we've only missed 13 times in a row. So might be you might want to look for a short, or at least to hit the pivot wherever it may land. As you can see, we just rocketed out of that wick zone. So any of you traders trading the wick zone, you were definitely rewarded if you lasted about the last 5 minutes. And looking at the smart range, we have 259 pips this week alone. That puts us in the 91 percentile over the last 12 weeks, or approximately 3 months. Maybe we should change that to 13. I think that might be a little more accurate. 241 past the previous week's high. We did not even get anywhere near the previous week's low. So, you red rats, high minus close right now is at 20. Green rats, close minus lows at 240. So anybody looking to do a green rat trade on the week, you were rewarded. But actually, you probably didn't get a chance to, because this thing just took off from the get-go. So unless you did a weekly open crossover to pick up 254 pips at the peak there, you probably didn't get that. And for you weekly open crossover traders to the downside, there was only 5 pips. I mean, everything was just screaming up. And you can kind of see the week before was 13 compared to, these wicks were huge, and all of a sudden you get this small wick. It just took off. And so let's go and look at the range by month. 472. We're not the lowest for sure. Let's take a look at that year-to-date accumulated range. We've pushed it up by 142 pips, so we're now at 887, which is the second lowest in the last 20 years. So we need to get to 939 to move up another notch. So we've got a week left to do it. Let's see what happens. And let's take a look at that ATR percentage. 138. So you can see here, we moved up in July and we moved up in August. So analyzing the numbers, and the close, close minus year-to-date open percentage, you can see 3.61. So if you've held since the open January there, you'd be up 3.61% on your money. We've had to endure some moves to the downside on 1.73, but we've definitely swung back the other way. Is there anything else here that looks interesting? Range accumulated. Let's just look at the ATR. It was 378, so you saw we exceeded it. That's a pretty nice move. Pretty nice move. Once again, 552 range for the month. And of course, traders, you can use these on whatever pair you like to trade, because not everybody trades the pound dollar. So you can analyze other pairs this way. Just for fun, look at the dollar yen. Look at that range last month. And look at the range this month. Ooh. 2015 has it beat by 1 pip. So, pretty interesting. Looking here at the squiggly. I just have fun sometimes looking at this, but you can see here all the let's see, which candle was it? It looks like one of these two candles, everything lined up perfectly, and then if you waited for that pullback, so I guess it's you go up, you see that crossover, maybe you get in, or maybe you wait for that first pullback. It pulled all the way back to the EMA 50 and then shot back up, and then it was all green, stay in the trade. You had a couple of pullbacks here that you could have added in if you wanted to, and there's one more here, and you could be up a boatload of pips if you're a swing trader using the EMAs. And you can see it's leaving a bunch of imbalances behind. And there's no imbalance at the top because we're making new highs. So for the number of bars we're looking at, let's see, how about on the daily? Well, actually, let's go to the monthly. Okay, we're in an imbalance zone here on the monthly. That's something interesting to note. So we need to cross 32.72 area to get out of it. On the weekly, you can see we've got some imbalance up here. You see we broke those highs there. And here back to the 1 minute chart, if you wanted to even trade at this level, you can see nice movement. The way I like to look at things, we're in a high wick zone right now, looking to see if there's a possible short for the red rats. So if it fails to make a new high, maybe it'll put in a flip-flop box. And let's see what else we got here. Okay, let's just take a quick look at the daily. You can see we are up past R3 right now, approaching R4. On the weekly, we just shot up through everything, turning up on the monthly, weekly. We're making new highs, it looks like there. Price above the upper wick zone. It's just the range, the percent of ATRs greater than 1.5. I mean, this thing is just basically zooming off the chart, literally. And looking at the monthly, buyer strong control, above the whip zone, price turning up. Distance to the moving average is like huge. I mean, above the midpoint, above the pivot, everything's just screaming. Putting in a 3-ball here. Just wait. And it looks like we actually hit the 31.99, 98, 99. This thing wants it. It wants 32. There we go. Anybody trading the M30 candle, you were rewarded by 77 pips. Back to, I mean, this thing is just getting off the charts here. So, fellow traders, I hope you were on the right side of the pound this week, or on the right side of whatever you were trading. And I'm going to wish you all a fun and safe weekend. And hope you guys can make it back next week. So catch up on some more videos, and feel free to answer the questions I ask. So I'm really curious who's trading and how you're trading it, because it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is TheRumpledOne. Over and out.